Let's start. Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me well, and please welcome here. I hope you will enjoy it and really understand that it's not that easy to just follow up some crazy stuff. Sounds like machine learning. After you have a lunch, it's better to talk with each other, have some cups of coffee. Anyway, just wondering. I hope that will be fun and interesting for you. So let me start. So who am I? Why should I speak to you, or why should I say some words about what machine learning is? So my current position is technical lead at Microsoft. It's a very good, big company. We're a lot, so you can just learn a lot more on the backstage there. So I just developed on my own the cloud computing subject at the Belarusian State University. I'm really welcome to have at least my student here. It's really nice. It was mentioned that he's working at Microsoft. So this is why I'm teaching. And I learned machine learning from Yandex and the projects we are currently and we previously have worked on. So I hope my experience will help you to just dive deeply or just help you to just save some time on that. Why to give this talk? What's my motivation here? So let me don't go through all the presentation in 5 seconds, but my motivation first is for you just to save some time. So if you would like to start with working on machine learning project, or just would like to have your own startup or a chatbot or whatever you have, I would love if you will just find my presentation useful and it save you a few hours of work. And other motivation is to just award you that it's not everything really nice in machine learning what's related to Ruby processing. So it would be nice if you can just contribute and improve that. So the next time I will say that just use your Ruby and get gems for that and forget about everything else. What this talk isn't about, so I will not just go through how to select the right model, don't dive deeply into details there, and I will not tell you how to perform analysis and how to train a model like really huge details. But anyway, I just left in my presentation a nice roadmap I found, by the way, for Microsoft Azure. But anyway, it's really good one, and sometimes I follow it when I don't know what the model should I start with. And some of the names mentioned here will be mentioned a few times during the presentation here. So what is this talk about? So I will talk about already developed Ruby machine learning gems and how to implement that in your Ruby Rails projects. So let's start with what do we have. So how generally works? So the first, general machine learning. So just select the algorithms you think that might apply or might solve your problem. And for each algorithm, you just train the model. You calculate the results. You select the best one based on the metrics you might find. And after, you just save the classifier and load it up whenever you use it. So you shouldn't have perform training every time. You just need to find out, for example, faces or whatever. So it's pretty much the same process, and I will follow I will try to follow step by step for all the gems will be mentioned in my presentation here. So to have some overview, what's sample data I will talk about. So this is number of columns here. Every one of each relates to the person and your states. And the last one, say, would me as a person will provide you a loan, for example. So it's open data. It's pretty easy to find. So that's what the sample. So this is who we will start to check, to assess. So should we give him a loan or not? Let's start with the first one. So that's probably the most old gem that you can find in all the lists for machine learning gems for Ruby. So it was mentioned that it can train new models, and the models are included there, naive Bayes, Kamin generic algorithms, neural networks. Probably heard some of them about or not, so just dive deeply to the previous slides with how to select the best model there. Let's see how it looks like. So this is part, just imported. Definitely previously just gem install AI4. Just load the data. So start a new set, load the data with labels, so just you don't need any tweaks to remove the first row with that. Pretty easy one. Just train it, so set the number of parameters. So in my case, it's 12, 11, 12, yes, 12 of them, and just build a data set. This is where the train, like I can say that's all the train you need to have in order to just start perform. And after that, predict. So it's pretty easy. If you just follow it up, you will just get 10 lines of code just to get everything work. And it works pretty nice and pretty fast, I can say. So go to the next one. So it's classifier reborn. So it also can train models, and models are included, only two of them. It's bias and latent semantic indexer. So yeah, how to choose? Again, you can just follow up the picture there. So it's specialized for text classification. So it probably can be the right choice if you are working on the NLP or chatbot for Facebook or WeChat or whatever. But it's really bad for numbers, so I just check it a few times within this data and other ones, and it really don't make that fancy prediction. But it's worth mentioning because it has some nice technique that you probably have to also think about. So the import is pretty the same. We need CSV there. So training set, you just read it again. Just categories. So categories is like, what should I get in response? So if I just set the sample data, I will get in response 0, 1. So 0 don't give and 1 give. It's pretty easy there. The training is also pretty easy. Just start with showing up what the categories are there. And for each of the trained data, so for each line of Excel sheet, you just have to train a model like line by line. It's sometimes pretty long process there. And then that's it, classify it. So it's pretty easy. I just use like joined because it should be text only. Next one can be Cerebrum. So it's really like advanced one, I can say, for artificial neural networks. It's implemented 100% in Ruby and also can train models. So let's see how it works there. So it's pretty much the same. You just import this. You just read the data, remove the first line with all that names. Just after, the only one additional thing we have to have there, it's a tokenizer. So that means that for each text, because we have, for example, like it's individual or it's a business entity or it's like person, we have to have numbers only. So it's like general requirement because all neural networks is math underneath. So we have to have a tokenizer here that will just transfer all your text into the numbers in any case. I just decided to have the easiest one. It's value to I and 36 because it's more than enough. It's more than a number of letters in the alphabet. So the technique you probably will find really useful, and it really used a lot there. And yeah, the next steps is this is pretty much the same as with the previous jam. You just generate the network instance. You just go through the training set and just prepare the training set. And for each of them, you just generate like a special view there with input and output, and just train it again. It takes really enormous number of times. I don't know, for that small CSV file I had, it's like only 2,000 rows. It was taken, I don't know, on my laptop 20 to 25 minutes. But anyway, in the end, you just got the network, and network run will give you the results. So it show you, should you give the loan or should you not? Yeah, let's say a few words so how it looks in the real app. So just try to store it somewhere and just load it up again. So it pretty much for all of the jams I tried, it works pretty much good. So you just use Marshall dump for there, just write the binary file and just load it. So it's pretty much fast experience. You can just apply into your Rails app there. Yeah, the next one is SEO Ruby. So this is the one who can't train, and they also used pre-trained or saved models. All the models are there for R language, probably heard about is for statistics. And so, for example, if some of your data scientists are really good in R, they can just implement neural networks or other stuff there, just save the model, so you will just use it right away. So what's supported there? It's gradient boost model, naive Bayes, random forest, and decision trees. Let's see how it looks like again. So it's pretty much one slide here. So just import, load model, and score the sample. That's it. That's full stop. Yeah, that's it for machine learning. What can you say about other generic greens? So what's like general purpose leaps you can use? So for first, it's TensorFlow. You probably heard about it. It's a machine learning framework developed by Google, and they use it a lot for image recognition, search, and all other stuff there. It's ready to retrain. Retrain is really cool stuff. So for example, someone else previously tried to separate flowers and people, and just to mark some, or just flowers inside, daisies and all other. So you can just use the model that had already been pre-trained and just add your new category, for example, dishes or meals or whatever, and you can just use only partially that data and train it again from the scratch. So you will get three different classes out of 2 previously trained, and you don't need to just train it on the whole bench of millions of pictures there. So it supports pretty much a lot of different models, for example, neural networks, logistic regression, and all other stuff. OpenCV is a really nice example of what can be used for computer vision. They have a lot of pre-trained models for image processing, video processing in real time, face detection, recognition, verification. So you can just match and understand how, for example, Facebook did. So is it you on the photo or is not? Probably it's not like GDPR rules now, but anyway. So let's go to the demo. Probably you just thought, why was I just going all over the time here and just make one photo? And probably that's the time for me to explain you why did I through all of the day. Let me start here. So that's pretty much small one. Should be the best. Should be easier to see, I hope so. Yeah, so I've just prepared a small demo with OpenCV library used. I'm using a special gem for that, OpenCV, because all of us love Ruby. I hope so. And so it's pretty easy one. So I'm just first this line. I'm just importing the photo I have. I'm just loading up the classifier. You probably can follow it here. I hope so. So I'm just using the one that had already been pre-trained by the whole community. So it's dozen and dozen of thousands of pictures had already been used there. Next one is to detect where the faces are, and just mark it with a rectangle. So what was my idea there? So I would like to understand how many people come back from the lunch, the first one, and other is how much people are on the first presentation, the second one, on the third one, and that's it. So I have a number of pictures. Let me show you here. So that's, so for example, this one. No way. Hopefully you can see it. So you can see how many people was there, and now we will try to see if it works or not, for example. So name is conf3, so let's start. Hope it will work. Yeah, so at least it starts, and it should not take that much time, I hope, because there are a lot of people there, so we can see some results there. And the results here. So pretty much a lot of people had been detected, and my idea was not in that, but my idea was just to see who is still sleeping, and who is already ready to listen there. What the other ways can we do here? So we can just try it and play with some parameters. Let's say this one. So the first one is the parameter that's related to how big the faces are. So if you know a priori that because I know, I just saw the picture, that the faces will be really small, so I just use a small scale up. So the lowest one is 1 and up to whatever, but if you just select a big scale parameter there, you will just get only if they're a big faces. So I think while it's just processing, because it takes some time, we can just have a nice selfie there. So say machine learning. Thank you. I hope it will take not that much time. Anyway, yeah, it at least work. So the main idea, we just have the picture. You just know what the picture will looks like. So you know that there will be smaller faces on the background, on the back part. So yeah, you can see that this one is not detected, but really interested in the presentation. Yeah, this one again. So this is probably because of the standard parameters I used there. Yeah, no, not so far. So what else can we do there? So we have another option there. So that shows you how crowded the place is. So if there are a lot of people, like for example at the Russian metro station, you just see a lot and everyone is just like connected to each other. You can just make yes, it's ready there. You can just make, yeah, you can see it's partially more people detected, but at the same time you just get more issues like this one. Doesn't look like a face, isn't it? I don't think so, but anyway, this is generally how the daily machine learning specialist or data analysis day it looks like. So we can just try something else. We can just let it this one and say, for example, that big parameter. So the bigger it is, the less faces we can just get, so that people have more distance one to each other. Hope that would not take that enormous number of time again. So yeah, you can see it's a lot few people are there, but at the same time the error level is completely different there. I have a lot of different pictures and would like to share it with the team there, so they will just count who is really listening there or who just came for the lunch. Hope you are not one of them. Let's get back this one. Yeah, so all the code I just showed you here, you can just download, go into the link and just try and play on your own, whatever time you need. So I hope that will help you to just save some time when you would like to just implement it on your own, because yeah, you will see why did I there. The way to perform. So I just first thought about how to make it more useful for you, and so check the performance there. But the wait time, I just found not that much difference. So Ruby first, let's try how it looks like. So for example, for this one, let's go line by line again. So first, you just load the image, load the classifier, and detect the faces. And for each faces, you just need to just set there a nice rectangle. Yes, the HTTP second. So probably some of you are really love microservices, and in that way, that might be interesting for you because you can just scale only the part of your app that are really slow one, and machine learning is usually the slowest of them. I just used the easiest way I found because I have already there Python script, and I just use Flask to improve that. So in a few lines of code, I can just make my web server out of the Python script. So yeah, that's pretty much the controller. This one, again, is classifier, so the idea is 100% the same as you had in Ruby. And yeah, so load classifier, load image, and predict there. And yeah, that's it. After you can just easily test it out. So yeah, one script to rule them all. That's another question you might have in mind when you just think about how to apply the machine learning to your app. So yeah, again, yeah, that's pretty much the same script I've used for web server, and come on, yes. You can just easily call it from Ruby and just generate a new image. So let's see the other options, and the other options might be, for example, for the last point with script, you might use PyPy instead of CPython there, just to improve, but you might face a lot of issues because of translation to the C code. For example, not all of the libraries are really already there, but yeah, TensorFlow and OpenCV should be there, but it's sometimes not that easy to make it work. So yeah, let's see who's the best. So I just prepared really nice and small benchmark there. I just tried it 100 times to run the script, to run the HTTP server, and to classify it using Ruby. So this is pretty much the same numbers you might find on your laptop there, running my code. I hope it will run. And yeah, so I found that Python server works pretty much the same as the Ruby classifier, and the script is a lot out there. But as I said, you might use PyPy, for example, to make the C code and use it a lot. I hope a lot more fancy there. So what should you worry about? So if, for example, in the case I started, you just might think that, okay, it may take like a few seconds to decide should I give the loan or not, so that's really okay. But considering the case we are working with at Smartersoft now, we just have this ECG, that's a human ECG, and we are trying to understand where each peak is, so it's used to understand do you have any abnormalities, or you might have, and just try to better predict the diseases in real time, and just to see your vital parameters, for example, heart rates in real time. So the doctors might apply a device on you and see how you perform in real time. And that's okay if you just have only one of these and you just run it and wait a few seconds. But what about this one? So if you would like to just start using it in real time, you will just face with a lot of issues. For example, if you have a few lines of ECG and one line of pulse, you just have to process it every bench of frames in real time with no delay. So I hope you understand this better, to just get your heart rates in real time now, but not in 5 seconds, because yeah, it really might save your life. So what's the pros and cons in general? Like, what should you do when you start using the Ruby gems for machine learning? So the pros are pretty easy to say. It's quick start, because we all know Ruby well, and easy to integrate because we have Rails apps and we know how to deal with that. So let's go deeply into cons, and probably that might help you to make a better decision faster. So pros, I mean, professional data scientists use Python or R. That might be pretty easy to find. So you just see the number of positions are open for R. Let me see. Yeah, for Python only. I didn't include R even, and with Ruby. So it's pretty much different, I would say. Do we have all the libs are there? So for example, for deep learning, for any other stuff, can we just do whatever we can? No, we can't. So most of even for TensorFlow or OpenCV, you just might have experienced a delay between what had been implemented and developed in the TensorFlow and OpenCV, and when you see it at the Ruby gem, it might take months of the work. Yeah, let's see that the last time it was August 2015. Cerebrum, it was unmaintained, unfortunately, but no one knows why. And OpenCV, it's just a lot of issues, and yeah, more than 1 year, no support. So, but they just have like 2 or 3 newer version. And for TensorFlow, it's a lot open issues. And so my point here is, don't say that, never think about that and don't use it. My point here is just to try to push you to think about what can I do for the community, what can I do for all my neighbors, all my colleagues, all my guys I can see here. So probably you will spend, I'd love you to spend, and me itself, to have some time to look at this and probably try to fix that or just implement something there, because there are a lot of new stuff around there for TensorFlow, for computer vision, that might appear faster than the community can respond for that. Yeah, community size again. So if you just face with any issue related to Python or Python with TensorFlow or something like that, you just might have answers really faster than with Ruby there. Yeah, limited features. Some of the gems are really limited in number of features that supports, for example, for TensorFlow again, and for OpenCV there. That's my passion here, is just to push the community here in Minsk, because we have a really good community and really strong developers, because you are here. And it would be nice if we can just think about that, so all might use a few hours to support machine learning in Ruby there. Pure documentation, and sometimes even the documentation holds not true there. So for a few gems, I just tried to follow the documentation once and found that they have absolutely different interface inside. So I have to dive deeply into their code and understand what can I have there, and only after that I can just understand how to deal with code there. Yeah, really would like to thank you there, and hopefully that was not that much boring as daily data scientist or data analysis day, and join Smartersoft to hack together, for example, that type of application we have. So I'd love you to have as much questions as possible, because I have not one. I have not only the potatoes. I really have a lot of them and don't want to give them home, but I brought from Norway some nice craft beer. So 3 of you might have the nice craft beer from the Norway directly from the Norway.
What do they need to get it?
Just answer nice questions.
Okay. Yes, Max, thank you very much. Thanks for your talk. And yeah, please raise your hands for questions. And we have
I think Maxim should choose the person to ask the questions this time.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
You're selecting the best.
Thank you for your talk, and especially for the investigation in machine learning in Ruby. And the part of machine learning process is to visualize your data when you are choosing the models. So are there any kind of libraries that could help you to visualize your model with Ruby?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. A really nice question, and deserve the beer for sure, because it's really
easy one.
Yeah, because it's really hard to answer that. So my guess here, what we are doing, I can share. What we are doing, probably not the best way, but we are using a lot high charts there, and we have a lot of integrations there, and it's pretty easy to set up it in one web page. So just send the data there and use it. So that's not the best way for sure, but the easiest way when you would like to play with the data, just scale it up, just do some fancy stuff that's already been there. So that probably might propose what you can try. It takes like a few hours, but after you would just do it like at no time.
Thank you for your talk. It's very nice to see that someone tried to do machine learning in Ruby, because it's not very popular. So I have 2 questions. One question is why the processing, like the second picture with the different parameters took like so longer than the first one? Mm-hmm. And the second question is about using GPU for machine learning in Ruby on Mac. Do you have any experience in that? Maybe with CUDA or something? Like, is it even possible?
Thank you. So starting with the first question.
No, that's very important. Does it deserve a beer or not?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, starting with the first question, why it takes so much long? Because as you can saw, we just get a lot more additional rectangles there. So most of the time, it really takes to just place that rectangles on the picture. So that's for sure, because it's pretty fast to detect it, but you just need to process the image. It's sometimes not that fast. Going to the second question, what's related to GPU? So what can I say? We never tried to use it with Ruby, but we have a good experience to use it with TensorFlow, for example, in Python, because it's pretty easy and a lot of the information are available there. So that's my point there. I never saw that it's available, but it might be. Or you can just do that and we'll have that option there. Sorry?
Is it on macOS or on Linux?
Which one? What we are doing?
With Python. CUDA with Python. You said that you used like TensorFlow with GPU.
We're using
Python.
Yeah,
but that was probably on Linux, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I asked about macOS.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get. I would say that's pretty expensive to have that good servers on macOS driven there. So that's probably why we're using Linux there, and that's pretty easy to get it from Amazon or for IBM.
Yeah,
for a really good price.
I just talking about like development. So when you're researching or trying something, it's really good to use GPU for that.
I saw that that's possible, that's for sure, but we don't do that.
Okay.
Because I answer it because it's pretty good cost for Amazon. You can just drive it within a few minutes there, and that's it.
Okay, another question. I mean.
Thank you for your talk. Quick question. You mentioned TensorFlow. Have you met anything for IBM Watson? I saw it from Ruby,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's okay. We tried there, and we really found for our clients it's better to use some open source there, because it's sometimes it's more flexible and you don't have to pay $1 per each request. It was like there. I'm not sure now it's going to be 1,000 there, but it was really expensive to use Watson there. So the only worst experience was from the internal team of the IBM only there. So far, used the Watson so much.
Thank you.
Okie dokie.
Probably this one I said.
Thank you for your talk. And my question is on your slide with benchmarks. We saw that Python server was kind of a little bit faster than other solutions. But my question is for we cannot choose a PyPy analogies in Ruby, but we have a JRuby. Can we parallelize these libraries you mentioned about?
That's really nice. I just saw only one library that's already available for JRuby there, and they're also using the third-party library such as TensorFlow, but it calls in a different way. It would be nice to try, I would say. So really good luck there, because I would say that sounds really cool, but I really didn't saw any useful there gem that you can use from day one, from today.
So now we have two potential competitors on the beer owning. Who you?
Three there.
Okay, so still one. Okay, one more question.
This person here.
Okay.
Because he waits for so long.
Thank you. When you said about pros of using Ruby for machine learning, you mentioned just a quick start and ease to integrate it. So it looks like it's good for short-term tasks, but it's not good for long-term tasks. It's better to use Python or R or something else. So I hope you have some cool story which you could share with us where you used Ruby for machine learning, and you can definitely say from the scene that
okay,
yes,
finally.
May I not answer that question? Sorry. Yeah, I understand that. It's unfortunately I don't have that fancy story. So we tried it a few times and really failed while we're trying to apply it on production. So generally we end up with using Python scripts or Python microservices there.
So if I understand it right, you're trying to start beer-driven development of those libs to get them into condition to. So
I'd love to have that time to do that, and but not so far. So probably that's why I just try to share my passion there to try. So at least a few one will try there, and we'll just get the next year. I will just give a talk that's Ruby the best one. I hope so.
Thanks.
Okay. You see, no beer, but still questions. Okay, that's a good one. Good sign. There is one more.
Beer doesn't matter. Thank you for the talk. And machine learning is something new for the community, but maybe for the technology or for time to calculate this, learn something. Yeah. Can you give easy examples? Which algorithms is better to use on which tasks?
Yeah, thank you. That was my point, not to dive deeply that much, because we can just talk all the way and after body about that. So this is why I'd love to share with you that like roadmap I found really useful. And sometimes we also just, if we stuck with some ideas we don't understand, so we just go here and try something new here. So you will find the numbers. So for example, 2-class boosted decision trees, SVM, neural networks. You will see that how much data you have. What would you like to predict? So for example, if you have predicted values or just 2 categories, you might use this part of the picture. So this is why I just want you to be curious about that and just try to a little bit investigate this picture. But it's really, really huge topic to talk about what's the best point, because definitely it's like try and fail. Most of the time it looks like that. So we just try and implement something, test it, it's not working, test it again, it's not working, something new, and it takes like days, or for some project take months to just get the right results.
Okay. Any more questions we have? There is one. Okay.
I really forgot to give the potatoes.
Yeah,
but
potato. Everybody who asks question, don't forget to get a potato, because very soon we're gonna get a raffle for that.
Just come, because I have a lot of them.
Thanks for your talk. So let's imagine for a minute that Ruby does have all the libraries and a big data science community and stuff like that, like Python nowadays. In your opinion, what could make, is there anything that could make Ruby better than Python in this imagined world?
Yeah, thank you. It's again like Ruby versus Python, and I would say it's a little bit different languages there and different semantics. But I will never say that Ruby is the better of the Python, even if we have the same number of pros and the same community size and that part, because they do a little bit different job. So the Python was, for the last few years, developed a lot of libraries for the machine learning and with the data visualization, statistics, and all other stuff. So it will take like a few years at least to catch there. But in the end, I would say that performance doesn't matter so far. Most of the time, the Ruby is pretty much the same as Python, or even faster. We just got there starting from Ruby 2.2, I think, so far, something like that. Yeah. I'm trying to not to say that Ruby is the best one, but yeah, it is.
Okay. Any more questions?
If you have any more questions, just please come there and we can discuss your particular problem, and probably I will try to guide you, or at least we can just have a talk next week.
Right. Thank you very much, Max. One more time.